Hello everyone. This is probably the review most of you want first, so I'm doing this one first. I am going to go through some of those other ones slowly, bit by bit, but this one is first, well, because this is the one a lot of you have been waiting to see what it looks like. We haven't had a good AT-AT model in a long time. I do have the AMT Battle of Hoth action scene. I'm not going to open it to look at the AT-ATs in there. It's still sealed in its package. I just don't want to open it because, well, I just don't. So we're just going to look at this one and judge it on its own merits. Now, looking at the side of the box, if I can get the glare off the box, it can be posed laying down and walking in certain walking stance. I don't know if you can move the legs. I don't know if the legs are posable. But by looking at this picture and this picture, it looks like they are somewhat posable. Knowing Bandai, they are. Okay? The cockpit does open. Everything is English and Japanese on the box. It tells you Bandai's prepping to send this one across the pond. Okay? So if you're patient, you'll find it at local hobby shops and stuff. Here's the other side of the box. It's 1/44 scale, okay? And again, it does have English on it. So they are planning on sending this across the pond. I don't think the underside of the box has anything fun on it. No, it's just a black box. It is one of Bandai's larger boxes, however. Okay, so I'm going to zoom the camera a little bit. The hobby room's a complete disaster. We have more construction on the house yet again going on, and I had to empty out half the hobby room. I'm going to have to empty out the other half of the hobby room in a couple of weeks, which is just slowing everything down and just tearing everything apart, in my opinion. I'm tired of it. We've been in the house for 2.5 months, and well, yeah. Anyhow, I don't mind opening these bags so we can see what's inside them a little bit and get a better sense of details. Like this bag, this is the bag on the top, and when you see it, let's get this open. Okay. There are some tide marks there, but paint hides those. That doesn't come through paint. It looks like it's got nice detail on it. Here's the underside of the head, I am sure, and the side guns for the head. They do have hollow barrels on them. If I take Mr. Zoom and activate, you can see the slide marks where they had pins inside there to hollow the barrels. That means making those barrels even more hollow will be pretty simple in the long run. I'm going to pull the box out of the way. That might help a little bit. Maybe I should pull this white sheet out of the way. And I can't really pull it out of the way, but I can fold it, and I don't care about that. But anyhow, if you take a look, you can see that is there. The head looks really good. Nice marks on the side of the head. Okay, if I can stay on camera. There we go. The head looks really good and really sharp. Okay. I like how this is looking so far. You can see it's not going to be really huge, but it is a pretty small scale kit. Most Gundam kits are the high grade kits are 1/44 scale. So Bandai has some experience working in that scale. Let's put that baggie aside. Let's get the next baggie. This next baggie has 2 sprue in it. So our sprue count is 3 at the moment. Let me pull this out. It doesn't want to come out. This is a true unboxing video, though. You can see me pulling everything out of the bags. Now, ooh, I got a loose part off a sprue. Part off sprue, part off sprue. I know what that part goes to. Okay, now, this is probably the lower part of the body. Yes, it is the lower part of the body. It has some exposed panel details if we were on camera again. Youch, I gotta watch that. I am not being a good camera person today. Anyhow, it's got some nice exposed details there. Again, we got the tide marks, but that you don't feel them, so they're going to go away with some paint. A little bit of paint will cure that. And the parts look good, look clean, no flash. Okay, the underside, I do see a little bit, but that's not a pin mark right there. That's supposed to be there. We do have some detail on the other side because this is the underside of the skirt for the body, and it will be visible if you turn the thing over. So they add the detail to the underside. Okay. The other sprue in the bag is the bottom. Here's the bottom of the frame. Okay. Lots of good detail on that. Lots of fine little detail. Bandai's good at getting detail in their injection mold kits. I mean, if you look inside this part right here, if I were to take that zoom and get in there, that's as far as the camera wants to go manually. I mean, with the zoom button. I can probably take it further if I have to. But you don't. You can see the detail on that part is plenty good. Here's the part that de-sprued. Okay? But just looking at the detail that they get in this, it's good. I don't see this on some kits. Nowhere near this kind of detail. It just doesn't look that nice or that sharp. There's the second bag that greets you when you open the kit. Let's go for the third bag, and I'm going to pull the camera out because this bag is kind of large, and that kind of view, while it's good on individual parts, isn't real good. I've got more parts that would be sprued. This thing spent 4 days in customs, so I'm not surprised the parts are coming off. I had some fragile parts over here, which you guys can't see there. So I'm hesitant to open this bag. I don't want these parts breaking. You have your water slide decals. Yes, they do come with it. These appear to be actuation parts. Okay, there's the laser effect parts. Bandai loves to put those in things. There's some good detail on this part right here, which you can't see. And the laser effect parts, I bet you couldn't see. I'm just being horrible with the camera today. And again, I want to open that bag because there's some small little parts in it. We got our base. So you can see just how big this thing is going to be. The base is about the size of my hand. Alright? So it's not a really large model kit, but at this scale I wouldn't expect it to be. Alright? And that base, get some good fake snow on that base and it's going to look good. The way it is, you wouldn't have to add much. I just don't like that hole right there. That's a plug for that hole. A little bit of work and you wouldn't see it. Alright, so there's the base. Getting in here, we have the baggie with the stickers and all the walking parts. Okay? Now, usually on movable kits, you get a sprue of poly caps, and we don't see any poly caps on this one. Not at all. Okay, but there's the legging parts. Here's the foot pads. You can see how big the foot pads are. There's the swivel parts of the foot pads, so this thing can walk. Okay, and I can't tell if it's articulated or not. It looks like it will be by the way the joints are set up here with pins and arches. The arches would be there to restrict motion so it cannot move completely. And if we look at the corresponding parts on the underside, and again, I don't want to open this because there's some tiny parts in there. Alright? But if you look at the underside of those, I bet they're pinned in such a way that they can only move in certain directions. You can't see the underside. These are two identical sprue. Yep, they're two identical sprue. Okay, so there is a look at what's inside the box. Pulling out the directions. We have them here. If I pull the camera back a little bit, we can get the directions in full frame. Okay. Nice full color directions on the outside, magazine style. I've always liked Bandai and their directions and the way they do them. We get the sprue map at the beginning. I wonder if this is actually in English. Yes, the directions are part in English. Okay. Which is good for once. They are English, so some of these mystery symbols now have English translations. So if you've got older kits, you can pull these out and check what the symbols mean. Okay? Now, first you assemble the head, and there's the full head assembled. It does have option parts for the front eye. I didn't see them in here. Yes, it has a red part for the front eye. So you could put the red clear part in the front eye, and I bet there's a white part that you could put in there as well. So it's either painted or not. And when you have it in there, you can light it, and so the head has lighting. Second step is putting the legs together. Yes, it indicates there is motion to the leg right there. Okay. The feet go in halves. I never am a fan of something like that. That don't look so good. Okay. It depends on how they do it. Bandai sometimes hides those seams in incredible ways. So they just disappear. The feet go together and you get some outer armor parts on it. And the little tiny thin parts I was worried about are right there. Okay. And then you start on the next leg. Actually, that's leg A and you got leg B. So you are doing 2 legs at once. So between leg A and leg B, you get all 4 legs. Then it comes to the body assembly over here. And there are a lot of parts to this kit. A surprising number of parts for this little guy. And then the frame goes together here. And I don't know if that's a clear part or not. I'd have to look at the sprue map. It may not be. And then again, like I said, the top part snaps onto the bottom part. And then this is final assembly over here. You put a leg A and B on each side, and you have these different panels that can go on it apparently. Yep, you have different panels you can put on the legs. Okay, I don't know the purpose of that. There's probably a different filming version, so you can do different versions. And the only real difference in the filming versions are the legs. You come to the final assembly, you put the body on the bottom, you got some extra parts to put on there, some panels you can remove for maintenance apparently, maintenance panels. You've got some back dirt flaps, it looks like you would have on a big truck. And you have the main laser turrets here, the ones that go on the side of the head. And the effect parts fit into the bottom ones. And down here you put the base together by just putting that pin in there. And there's the connector so you can connect different bases together if you want to display them all on their bases. The painting, the decal guide is here. Now the color guide, this is going to be fun because most paints for Bandai kits are not easily available in the United States. They are not doing the color calls. Basically, it's not Tamiya paint. It's probably Mr. Color Paints. It doesn't say. Formula like finish, refer to the color guide. Use of water-based paint is recommended for safety reasons. Color blending shown for reference. Actual color may differ from the image. And the pilot suit's flat white. The body's flat white, neutral gray. The inner cockpit wall is gray. The viewport is clear red. The hatch interior details are burnt iron. Okay, all those colors are available in Tamiya and other brands of paint. So they kept it pretty neutral with the paint guide. And they didn't really specify any paint brand. So it is possible to paint that. There are some decals and markings that go on this thing. Not many. And you got your paint and decal guide in the full color. Some of them go with the pilot. They're pilots figures. Now, I heard somewhere that they can't put standing pilots on this kit, that they could only do seated pilots because it would violate some sort of copyright, trademark, or something with another kit manufacturer. But anyhow, there you go. There's the AT-AT. A look at what's in the box. Sorry for the shoddy camera work. I will get this room cleaned up soon and be able to do much better with my camera work in the future. I never did spot the pilots. Let me take a quick scan over these sprue and see if we can find them and then do a closer view of them. They're probably in, yeah, they are. No, they are not. I expected them to be in the bag I didn't open, but there's some stuff in the bag I didn't open that's worth taking a better look at. So let me zoom this thing in to the point you can see the hairs on your nose. Let's take a look at that. Those are the gun details, and the plastic bag's a little bit in the way. But there are some nice details on that. Okay. Coming over in here a little bit. There. That's not the pilot's. But look at the fine detail on that one. If you look at this, you can see why I am not opening this bag. That is hair thin right there. And it's duplicated on this side over here. Just hair thin. I do not want to open this bag. There is a standing figure that is a silhouette. They've started doing that in a lot of kits. Someone once told me it's a protest over scale decisions between Hasbro and Bandai. I don't know. I'm not going to fight with it. Just showing you, this sprue has some incredibly fine parts on it, and I do not want to open it because I do not want to jeopardize breaking those parts. I still haven't found the pilot figures. They're definitely not on the sprues I did open. Nope. Not on the sprues I did open, so they got to be in one of those bags over there. I'm not going to look too much more for them because I don't want to break anything. It would not surprise me if they're on the duplicated sprue. That would make the most sense. Since there are, yep, they are. I found them. Pilot figure is right there. You can see him. Right there. There we go. No glare in the way. So, some incredibly fine molding in places on this kit. You want to be careful with some of those because they will break if you mishandle them. Have a view of a 555 timer chip model while we wait. And I pack stuff up and talk about randomness. But anyhow, there's a model of a 555 timer chip. That has been the fun part of my life for the last few weeks. Let me tell you about that. Oh, you'll hear it in a future video. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed the look of the AT-AT. This looks like a really nice model kit. Well detailed. Worth the money. If you want to wait for it to come to the US, it will come. The directions are in English. That tells me they plan on importing this one. They wouldn't put it in English otherwise. Well, at this point in time, I'm saying goodbye. I hope you enjoyed.